Complete Unknown is directed by James Mangold and stars Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan. And the film is set in the influential New York music scene of the early 60s, where we follow the 19-year-old Minnesota musician Bob Dylan's meteoric rise as a folk singer to concert halls on the top of the charts, culminating in a groundbreaking electric rock and roll performance at the Newport Folk Festival in 1965. But real quick, I want to share with you guys a really great gift that I was given recently. This is a watch from Holzkern, which is a company that specializes in watches and jewelry made from materials that are natural, like wood or stone. And the best part about that is that all of their wood is FSC certified. They're engaged against deforestation. Holzkern is a watch and jewelry brand, both for men and women. They were founded in Vienna, Austria in 2016. Holzkern products are a great gift for your loved ones, and since the holidays are coming up, it's the perfect time to be thinking about that. All their products are made from natural materials, and therefore each product is unique. Their products are made in small quantities, which ensures every item meets a high standard of quality that will last you a very long time. They also offer free express worldwide shipping straight from Vienna. The customs fees are on them. Products typically arrive within 2 to 5 business days, and all orders placed by December 19th are guaranteed to arrive by Christmas Day. As a kid, watches were like really special to my dad. It was kind of like some sort of weird initiation, like if I hit a kind of milestone or something, or did something that he thought was important or whatever. Watches have always kind of had a bit of a special place in my heart. And this watch is genuinely beautiful, and it also feels really good on my wrist. Also, the box it comes in is a really beautiful presentation. So check out holzkern.com/Stuckmann, use the discount code Stuckmann, or scan the QR code that's on the screen right now. That link is in the description below. They have so many great products. Definitely check them out. Thank you so much to Holzkern for sponsoring this video. Of course, I've heard Bob Dylan's music before. It's pretty much impossible not to. I remember when I was a little bit younger, I heard a couple of his songs covered in Lady in the Water, believe it or not, and I eventually tracked down the real songs to listen to how he was singing. And I remember as a kid, I thought, this is a very strange singer. I don't know what I'm feeling here. I don't know if I love his music. As I got older, I began to realize how truly talented he is, what an excellent writer he is, and as an incredibly famous person, he's a bit of an enigma who doesn't seem to care that much about fame, which is very refreshing. In fact, what I knew him most for was a small addition to We Are the World, the Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, Quincy Jones song, and that great documentary that's on Netflix featuring his difficulty in that scenario, which I can only understand even more having seen this film. But having since watched a lot of footage of him on YouTube and learning about him as an artist, I can say that Timothée Chalamet might as well be a mirror image of this guy. This is an incredible performance. I mean, it's no surprise. Chalamet has proved himself over and over again to be such a terrific actor with a lot of range and can really disappear into all different kinds of roles, whether he's in Call Me By Your Name, something like this, or Dune Part 2, or even singing as Willy Wonka. The guy can do anything. He's phenomenal here, and James Mangold brings that same type of energy that he brought to Walk the Line. I remember seeing Walk the Line in '05 in a theater on a matinee. I think I was in like junior year of high school, and I went to the theater and there weren't a lot of people there. I was sitting all the way at the back against the wall, and I was just blown away by that movie. I wasn't into Johnny Cash at the time. I hadn't really heard much of his music, and after that movie, I started listening to him more and more, and I have a feeling that A Complete Unknown is going to have the same effect on me for Bob Dylan, because this film really explores his life in a way that potentially makes Dylan all the more mysterious than he already is. And what I respected the most about that is that it did not shy away from the fact that in these early years of his career, he was difficult with some people and didn't really gel well with the idea that he was famous and that his fans wanted something and he doesn't necessarily want to give them that thing. He has new songs he'd like to play. And you often hear that with musicians nowadays where you're going to their concert and you just want to hear their album from back in the day and all their new stuff isn't really your favorite thing and you just want them to play the hits. And Dylan clearly, at least during this period, really pushed back against that. What I also loved about this movie, though, is that even when Dylan is pushing against the grain and not necessarily giving his fans what they want, his fellow artists, like Johnny Cash, played by Boyd Holbrook, the second time James Mangold has directed somebody playing Johnny Cash, Cash is like, you're doing amazing, man, just keep going. And it was really nice to see how fellow artists support fellow artists, even when the public might be pushing back. But that's not to say that all of his fellow artists understood exactly what he was doing, because part of this movie's conflict comes into the fact that he began and became very famous as a folk singer. and that's how he generated his fan base. And those were the types of venues he typically played at. Just a person with a guitar. No rhythm guitar, no drums, no bass, no keyboard, maybe occasionally a harmonica, and that's about it. But as the movie progresses and as his interest in music progresses, he starts to introduce things like the electric guitar and the keyboard and the drums. And so the fans of folk music, as well as his fellow folk musicians, think that he's doing folk music wrong. And that's where a lot of this film's drama comes in, as well as a love triangle between Monica Barbaro and Elle Fanning. This aspect of the movie seemed to complicate Dylan a little bit more than I would have personally liked, because as someone who didn't know everything about him, there were aspects of the movie that felt like I was just supposed to know, like, oh, this is that iconic moment that I'm supposed to know about, but I don't, and so I need you to make me feel it. And there were times where, especially in this love triangle, where I just thought, what are you doing, man? And I think that's part of the point. I mean, when you watch Walk the Line and Joaquin Phoenix as Johnny Cash is just absolutely destroying his life and his relationship, you think the same thing. What the hell are you doing, man? But there's this aspect of Cash, at least in that movie, where I saw why he was going down the road he was going on. I would have liked to have been a little more enlightened about Dylan's life in this movie, because he does still kind of feel like a mystery to me, even though I appreciate the mystery of it. And that's kind of part of the fun, especially with him as a musician. But I just wanted to know a little bit more about why he chooses the things he chooses, because the movie does present him as fairly unlikable at times. You have characters that come up to him and say, you know, you're being like a huge jerk right now. And he's just like, okay, whatever, thanks. I'm gonna go play my music over there. But it's because of Chalamet, the great writing, and James Mangold's near masterful hand behind the camera that makes none of that really matter to me at the end of the day, because the film is just so goddamn watchable and beautiful looking. And the songs are great. Chalamet is so good. Monica Barbaro is fantastic, as is Edward Norton as Pete Seeger. And as much as Joaquin Phoenix's Oscar-nominated work in Walk the Line made an impact on me as Johnny Cash, Boyd Holbrook is so good in this movie. He just continues to be excellent at everything he shows up in, and he tends to be showing up in supporting roles in Mangold films quite a bit lately. Just like quite a bit of great James Mangold films, this is an old-fashioned movie with amazing wide shots showcasing incredible 1960s production design and vehicles. You feel like you're there, and the recreation of the various festivals and gigs that Bob Dylan attended feels so incredibly authentic. So even though I would have liked to have known just a little bit more about Dylan as a person, this film is incredibly impressive, from the filmmaking to the writing to the acting, and if you're a fan of musical biopics, this is one you definitely got to see. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.